My eyes were fixated on the translucent water as I stood at the crossing. The river flowed smoothly, gently caressing the rocks at its bed. The dim light of the early morning sun sent a haze across the surface, giving it an ethereal quality. I had been here countless times before, each visit a remembrance of what lay beyond. I was a mere mortal in this realm, my life an insignificant speck within the grand cycle of existence. And yet, I couldn't help but feel a connection to something greater, something intangible that seemed to beckon me. It was a feeling that had been growing with each visit, and it made me question whether I was watching the river, or if the river was watching me. The first time I had come across this place was purely by accident. I was part of a team of researchers, tasked with conducting a series of experiments in the nearby forest. As I ventured deeper into the woods, I stumbled upon the riverbank and felt an inexplicable pull towards the water. I stood there, staring at the surface for what seemed like hours, my mind awash with strange emotions. As the days turned into weeks, I found myself returning to the river, drawn to it as if under a spell. The rest of the team began to grow concerned, but I couldn't find the words to explain my newfound obsession. To them, I was simply losing my focus on the experiment. To me, it felt like a rebellion against the mundane world I had known. One night, as I stood at the crossing, I noticed a snake weaving its way through the water. It moved with an eerie grace, its body undulating in perfect harmony with the river's flow. The snake seemed to be aware of my presence, its eyes locked on mine, as if daring me to follow. As I stared into the reptile's eyes, my perception shifted. The boundaries between reality and the paranormal began to blur, and I found myself crossing the threshold between two worlds. The air was thick with a sense of impending change, and a weight settled upon my shoulders as the seconds slipped by. I could feel the river calling out to me, the waters a gateway to a realm I had only glimpsed in dreams. Each time I stood at the edge, I was seized by the fear of the unknown, the fear of stepping into the great beyond. Yet the pull of the river was strong, and I knew that, one day, I would have to answer its call. Finally, the day arrived when I could no longer resist the river's siren song. As I stood at the crossing, the snake appeared once again, its eyes locked on mine. I hesitated for a moment, but the feeling of rebellion swelled within me, and I took the first step into the water. The sensation was both electrifying and soothing, like a million tiny needles dancing across my skin. The current pulled me under, and I allowed it to carry me deeper into the unknown. The haze that had always obscured the river's depths began to dissipate, and I was overcome with a feeling of profound understanding. It was as if the universe had revealed its secrets to me, and I had become a part of something much larger than myself. As I was swept along by the current, I saw the cycle of life and death play out before me, each moment an intricate tapestry woven from the threads of existence. The river was both the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega, and I was a part of it all. As I emerged on the other side, I found myself in a world that was both familiar and strange. The landscape was a kaleidoscope of colors, the air heavy with the scent of 1,000 blossoms. The river ran through it all, its waters now a brilliant shade of azure, pulsating with life. I felt a deep sense of belonging, as though I had finally come home after a long, arduous journey. In this new realm, time seemed to lose its meaning. Days melded into nights, and seasons flowed seamlessly into one another. I watched as life bloomed and withered, only to be reborn again, each iteration more vibrant and resplendent than the last. I spent what felt like an eternity exploring this wondrous world, forging connections with its myriad inhabitants. Among them were beings of unimaginable beauty and wisdom, who shared with me the secrets of their existence. I learned that the river was a living entity, a manifestation of the cosmic force that bound us all together. In time, I began to understand my role in this grand tapestry. I was both a witness and a participant, a guardian of the river and its secrets. My presence was a delicate balance, a bridge between the realms, and I came to cherish this responsibility with every fiber of my being. Yet, deep within me, a longing for the world I had left behind began to grow. I yearned for the familiar faces of my colleagues, the mundane comforts of my former life. The river, sensing my inner turmoil, whispered a choice into my heart: to return to the world I knew, or to remain in the realm I had come to love. In the end, I chose to cross back over, to return to the life I had once known. As I stepped back into the world of men, I was filled with a renewed sense of purpose, a resolve to share the wisdom I had gained from my journey. And so, I stand once more at the crossing, my eyes fixed on the translucent water as it flows smoothly over the rocks. The river whispers its secrets to me, a reminder of the world that lies beyond, a world that I will forever carry in my heart. In those quiet moments when the light begins to fade, and the veil between realms grows thin, I can feel the river watching me, its eternal current a living testament to the cycles of life and death, and the infinite connections that bind us all.